Hey, let's go. All right, everybody, here we go with the On the Path Presents Out Loud podcast. And we are fortunate to be here with the legendary cheerleader and global producer of Nike Global Events, involved in 100 things that we all want to hear about, with NFL and some of the most amazing stories about again, sports on the world stage, and does some peak performance conversations about how to get peak performance out of the people that we coach, and so we're excited to hear it all. Thanks a lot for being here. Jay Howarth is here with us, and we're so happy to have you.
Thank you, Zach.
All right.
Thank you. Hey, Tom. Hey, guys. How we doing?
Doing
Good. Yeah, we're excited to be here and have you. I know you got a lot of cool stuff to talk about, so I think we'll kind of jump right in. I'd love to be able to get just a little bit about where you come from, so we can jump into some of the gigs that we know that we want to talk about. But where'd you come from, and where did it all start?
Well, first of all, thank you. It's really fun to be here and to talk about my story with sports guys, because there's been some really cool moments I've witnessed, some really insane, iconic moments, and your perspective. It's just nice to talk about it that way. Different school in a different state every year. We moved until high school, and I landed in Northern California. Really, really lucky. I landed in Northern California in the Bay Area in a town called Dublin. Our colors were red, white, and blue. We had great traditions passed down to me. But it turns out that the Bay Area was going to figure really prominently. And even being a high school cheerleader and going to the cheerleading camps, right place, the right time, the family who ran the cheerleading camps also ran the entertainment for the San Francisco 49ER'S. So one day you're doing cheerleading camps, and the next day somebody says, hey, we're doing a halftime show, inviting all the girls. These are, everybody kind of has gotten to know this. And when I left there, I had done an Olympic show. I had done a Super Bowl show. I had done NBA tours, Major League Baseball, because it was the birth of sports entertainment. And, even my parents wanted me to grow up and get a real job. But seriously,
how much different? I mean, so I watched the entire Netflix special about cheerleading. I had a guy that I went to school with. His daughter was one of those cheerleaders, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just a weird thing. And I watched it. And of course, I got into it because it's reality TV. And, Bring It On, of course, was filmed at the college that I was coaching at. So like I was connected to that movie. And then I was how different is it now compared to the way your experience with it? Is it more physical, less physical, more athletic, more dance, gymnastics?
It has evolved and advanced for sure. I miss the kind of, grooving, shaking. I have completely made my career on the home field advantage, making a difference for the team. Again, I don't get much play except with sports people. I don't think the home field advantage wins games, except I think it's worth 3 points. And how many games are won by 1, 2, or 3 points? If you could, skim that cream off the top, then I've done my job. Bill Walsh came into that team the year before he, was there. Like we went, let's have a theme for the year. And we put up the signs and it said 49ers roaring back. The Raiders were in that town. They had just done really their classic football decade. 49ers couldn't hit the side of a barn door. I got section 17 for my friends. Like I could have NFL tickets, a whole section. Nobody wanted to come to the 49er game.
That's awesome.
We'd put up signs roaring back. In like game 3, the fans had put an S and it was snoring back. I'm like,
no.
God, But Bill Walsh, sorry, but I just want to give the man his due and set it up, is that Bill Walsh came in and said, everything. I want everything in alignment. I want the home field advantage. I want the parking lots going. I want the tools inside the stadium. I want the shows to be good. And
music,
because he did music and whatnot, it was him that suddenly shined a light on our department and off we went. Off we went.
God bless Bill Walsh, man. He's done more. That wouldn't have been where I would have thought he would have gone. But I guess my question is and it's so intriguing to me as a coach. So you have a team that hasn't done so well, and and your job is to get the crowd involved and make it a home field advantage. What's the catch? What's the idea? What do you go after?
Well, music is always my go-to. For example, when Glee became really big and like Journey and everybody's doing, the songs and the big numbers, Journey was at the 49er games when I did the halftime show. Santana was on the sideline. I used to get like tongue-tied. I would have to go, that's Santana. Just go right this way, Carlos. It just was, it was insane.
Definitely.
That was my first thought was, what about Huey Lewis and the News? They must have been in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And the sports, that album.
Biggest album ever.
The Bay Area was a rockin' great place. I was really lucky. In fact, when the 49ers struck gold, and it all came together where it had a rock and roll edge, and Journey and like Santana, like they showed up for their team, and then you start to win, and it starts to make a difference, and it starts to that crew. They're legends now. We know what that talent was. We were standing on the sideline when they were clearing the sidelines in that last play in what became the catch. Wow. So I'm actually with my flash dance perm in the picture of the catch, standing on the sidelines, right gosh. Next to like a 70s riot cop. They were going, move, 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 but the whole world stood still. That play actually haunted me in a way for the longest time because I saw him running, and he was running like this. To football guys, this just shows how naive I was even in a professional situation, but he was just running. He wasn't looking for a ball. He just went like this, and there was a ball magically in his hands, like he knew it would be. And for a long time, I didn't really understand how that occurred. And I thought, I want to go to magic school. I want life to be that way. I want to be so in sync with a team, with the flow, with a passion, with a cause that I am just running with all these big sons of guns after me, running like this. And then when I jump up, I want the ball to be there. It haunted me, but it sent me, it gave me a life of adventure for myself. It's not trivial.
I think that, go ahead, Tommy.
No, I just have to, we've talked earlier, but I can't think of anything more important than that play, for the changing of the guard, a different style of football, a different brand of football. First of all, I was 12 years old, so I may have been looking at the cheerleaders and not seeing Dwight. I might not have seen Dwight. I was 12 years old, and then Dwight flashed into the screen. Number one. Number two, I just can't think of anything more iconic than that. I just feel like there's these moments in time where everybody holds their breath, and that was one of them. The question I have to ask, I don't know if you can answer it because you do have some inside, thing. There's always this argument, was that play a throwaway ball, or was that play intentionally drawn up that way and he just didn't really throw it accurately? Because some people say he was supposed to drop back, and if he didn't find anybody, he was supposed to throw it out of the back of the end zone. I've heard Bill Walsh say that, but it sure didn't look like it. It sure looked like a perfect play to me.
It was a perfect play.
Okay. They called it that way.
It was a
you didn't see Joe Montana roll out that much. You know what I mean? Like he didn't roll out so much.
It was a perfect play. No. It was truly a perfect play that came together. And I'm sure that you're right. Everybody held their breath.
Yeah.
And, I always say, because, sometimes I do big events still. And when something happens bad, let's say with pyro, And my boss leans in and he says, "Did you plan that? Did you plan that?" And I always go, "Let me ask you," because it was good. And I always go, "Let me ask you something. If that hurt somebody or it was bad, would it have been my fault?" And he said, "Yes." And I'm like, "Then I planned that."
You get both sides.
It was the perfect play, Tom. It was
okay.
the perfect play.
I never saw Joe Montana roll out. You know, he was always throwing the ball on time, nice and quick. He had guys were in his face, and he kind of just went burp. And a lot of guys in high school, that would have been a throwaway ball, and we would have got another down. You know, it would have kicked a field goal or whatever.
Well, and Dwight was a tall streak, and maybe that's the luckiest son of a bitch. But what they went on to do years later.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, especially this week, Tom Brady is the GOAT. Look at, I can't even say it.
Don't say it. You're choking on it.
I can't say it. But you have to give it to him.
Say it. Go ahead. Say it.
I did say it. I said GOAT. I'm not going to, on it anymore.
That's awesome.
But, yeah. But
goat
Joe,
lowercase, not goat uppercase.
Totally.
Goat lowercase.
But Joe is the greatest of all time.
I'll tell you what, we just had the conversation. We just had a guest named Packer Kenny, and he was, we had the conversation about the MVP and who fits in the conversation. And Tom and I both agree, and Tom's a big fan of Joe Montana, and so am I. A lot of what I did as a coach was patterned after them and their offense and who they are. And Joe was Joe Cool. I mean, I love Tom Brady. I like watching Aaron Rodgers. I'm a Terry Bradshaw and a Snake Stabler fan, all those things. But Joe was Joe Cool, and there's no doubt about it. And when he made that play, and I think that the thing that is so striking is that it's okay if you think it was magic, because it kind of was.
It was.
And whether they practiced that play over and over again, and that was kind of part of the deal, it was still magic. And it was that magic because it was that time of the game. And I think that's the beauty of sports, and that's why we all get fired up about it.
The pictures of Dwight's fingertips on the ball, like he didn't have his palms on it. He didn't cup it. It was like it was one more spin, 5 miles an hour more on the zip on the ball, it would have been an incomplete pass.
Well, if you see the end of the play too, he almost acts like, oh shit, I just caught the ball. Like he tosses it over to the official and walks off, and they celebrate down the sideline a little, like I think it just caught everybody off guard. It's, again, that's the beauty. I think that's so fantastic that you were a part of that. And
oh my God,
the noise in the stadium, the noise, the force of nature in the stadium. I'm sure that every single person's like dopamine and serotonin and every single, and I think everybody, like it affected you inside, and everybody was on cloud 9 from it. Like we were on euphoria, but because it was so improbable and it was so right down, and it was Dallas, and they always had our number. And it was like, like every bit of that last second, and then the momentum stuck with the traction. The traction hit.